Hey everybody, it's Dawn Michelle. I think I have to do that every time I start a video now. Maybe it'll be my trademark. I think technically trademarks are registered, and that's obviously, I don't think you can register that, but I can keep saying it. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. I am outside because we have one day of spring here in Nashville before the snowpocalypse tomorrow, an impending doom, which we're all really excited about. I know I am personally. Anyhow, today we have a Finding Your Light Devo, and this Devo I call The Gimmies, and it's something that I think is another important topic. It seems like we're all the time dealing with this little thing I like to call the gimmies, and it just sort of can take over our lives, so I want to talk about it. Today's verse we're going to do is Hebrews 13:5, and it says, "Keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have." It's a teeny tiny verse with a really huge implication, because I don't know if you're like me, but a lot of times I find it really hard to be content. And it seems like every day I probably spend like a huge portion or percentage of my day thinking about the things that I don't have. And sometimes it's circumstances, and sometimes it's like actually things I don't have. And because we spend so much time thinking about that, I thought this is something that would be good to discuss. So we're going to go with our storytelling style with today's devotional as well. So we're going to go back to the beginning, which is typically where I always start, because I find that's where most of who I am, that's where it came from. So here we go. I grew up with a mother and a father who gave us everything they could, who tried to give us everything we wanted. At first, Dad was gone a lot, trying to get us that dream. But then one day, suddenly, some bad business decisions and some misleading from business associates ended my father's blossoming career as an entrepreneur. In a short time, we went from sky's the limit to being sued by Uncle Sam. And my father went from being employed to being unemployed for 4 years. Needless to say, things were very tight. We were able to hold on to what we had, but most times new stuff just wasn't an option. I grew up on hand-me-downs, and getting new school clothes was kind of rare. Things eventually got better, but during that time I learned a lot of lessons about what things are truly important and what things aren't. For instance, for someone who wanted new clothes so badly, I couldn't help but notice that they never made me feel like I fit in. I thought they would, but I would wear them, and I still felt kind of on the outside. Also, I enjoyed the new purchases that made their way into our house very much, but the price my family paid for with the debt of those purchases cost us tired lines on my parents' face and a lot of time apart while they worked so hard to make ends meet. I believe that the stress fractures caused by the weight of our family's debt contributed greatly to the collapse of my family unit, which resulted in my parents divorcing a couple years ago. I'll tell you right now, I'd gladly go back and trade every stitch of new clothing, the nice TV, and all the furniture and the curtains to get my family put back together again. No amount of stuff is worth what was broken. That's a hard lesson to learn. But I'm thankful for that lesson every time I start to get a case of the gimmies. When I feel that familiar feeling pop up, there's another voice inside me that says, that won't make you happy. Not really. Just get what you truly need, and then spend what's left of your money on things that brings life to others and to your family. Now, because we live in the United States of Gimme America, it means I am constantly feeling those gimmies try to get me. I feel inside what Jesus meant when he said, no one can serve two masters. Either he will hate one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. That's Matthew 6:24. I am surrounded by those who are a slave to money. They break their backs every day so they can afford the car they had to buy so they could get to work to break their backs. They buy expensive clothes to impress others who aren't really actually impressed. In reality, they just envy them. And envy is just a hop, skip, and a jump to hate. Paying a bunch of money so that others will hate you seems like a bad idea. What the Beatles said is true. Money can't buy me love. The more I stand up to the voices of the gimmies, the more I feel powerful in the knowledge that the gimmies don't control me. God is my master, not the gimmies. I don't want my money to control me. I want to control my money. I want to use it for things that last, like food for starving children and a home for the homeless. Things are tight, and they may always be. But God's hand of provisions are always open and pouring out generously the things that I truly need. The world says who we are is not enough. We need to buy more and get more to be good enough. But that is a lie from the devil's lips. Let us all endeavor to get over it. Thankfulness is so much more beautiful on our faces than the ugly gimmies will ever be. I don't know if you guys feel this in your own lives, if you struggle with kind of seeing stuff on television or your friends, things like that. But I do think it's a constant problem, especially here in the United States, where we're constantly wanting more and more things or feeling like we're empty without them and needing to get new things. So that's why I thought this would be a good topic to talk about. And I hope that what I've said has touched a chord with you, and that that chord will continue to ring out whenever you start to feel inadequate because you don't have enough stuff, or you don't have the right clothes, or the right car, or whatever it is that the world is trying to tell you that you need to have in order to be good enough. Just remember, the world is out there trying to sell you something because they're just trying to make money off of you. But, sorry, the wind. But God is here just loving you, just the way that you are. And we don't need all of this stuff. We need food, we need shelter, and other people need food and they need shelter. And God forbid that other people go without food and shelter when we could have helped because we were too busy buying stuff and buying entertainment. So you guys, thank you so much for watching. Send me a comment if you're tuned in, and be sure to like things and share it so other people can hear as well. And keep sticking with me every Thursday. I've got another video coming out on Tuesday night again. We've got kind of like this Tuesday night series of posting things. If you haven't checked that out, you can see that on YouTube, which is also at Dawn Michelle Music. Thanks so much for everybody watching, and I hope you're doing awesome, and please stay warm and safe during whatever phase of snowpocalypse that you're facing anywhere. And I'll be praying for you guys. You pray for me. You guys take care. Love y'all. Bye.